Hello and welcome to my Erebus Ascent review. I think it's safe to say that if you're a frequent flyer of affordable watch reviews, then you're probably familiar with the famous watch reviewer since 2016, Mr. Jody from Just One More Watch, and his business partner Stephen Parker, aka Mr. P, who by the way has 30 years worth of experience in sales. They combined forces to make their first debut in a line called the Origin, which had a three-hander dive style watch with a date wheel complication, eventually leading to the GMT version of the Origin, both built around well-known Seiko movements. While successfully delivering a well-rounded, refined, and value for affordability in this collection, one could argue that these designs were played safe options despite giving a plethora of color options. We now find ourselves at the point of ascent for the brand with the Erebus first go anywhere, do anything, better known as a GATA, sports watch. And with this collection, they also have chosen to feature a nice range of unique dial elements, including enamel, a colorful fume sunburst, Erebus branded helix dials, or mineral dials in malachite tiger's eye, and in this case, we're featuring aventurine glass. This is my first hands-on deep dive review for the brand, and for one, I have high expectations given the background to the brand owners. With first impressions, the packaging of the watch came in a dual carrying travel case for the watch, which felt like a decent quality and will actually be practical for me to use personally when I take my watches on the road to do my live watch talk. Speaking of which, I did a live unboxing of this watch, which I'll link in the description below if you are interested in my first impressions. So let's start off with some specifications. It has a case diameter of 39 millimeters, a lug to lug of 44.5 millimeters, a lug width of 20 millimeters. It has a thickness of only 11 millimeters. The crown is 6 millimeters in width. It has a sapphire crystal with AR coating. The lume we have here is BGW9. The case material is 316L, brushed and polished. It has a water resistance of 100 meters, and it is powered by the Miyota 9015. Now, this choice of mechanical power is Miyota's signature ultra-thin premium automatic movement, allowing for a thin build design, hand winding, hacking, -10, plus 30 seconds a day. We have a 42-hour power reserve, 24 joules, and it operates at 28,800 vibrations, 4 hertz, and has a date wheel complication. Miyota movement's notorious for having a wobbly rotor, and there is no exception to this movement that is placed inside the watch. If I could offer my 2 cents, and this isn't necessarily directed towards Erebus only, but if they continue to use Japanese movements, perhaps having an in-house watchmaker regulate the movement for more accuracy and improving its performance. That said, I have a gut feeling that Erebus is most likely going to utilize a Swiss movement caliber in their next watch. That's just me guessing. They have not confirmed that in any way, but I think that they're looking to do leaps and bounds with their improvements. Now, keep in mind that the average cost of this movement alone is about $100 as we continue, because this watch is going to be focused heavily on value. Switching gears now to the bracelets that the brand offers when purchasing the watch, you have your choice between the O-style bracelet or a J-style bracelet in a 316L stainless steel. I received the J-style bracelet with this timepiece, and it gives slightly a dressier look to the watch. And normally, this is where brands often save in cost for their watches, but not Erebus. I was extremely impressed with the quality and the features inside the bracelet. Starting at the attachment, it runs flush with the case and the inner lugs with a solid female end link that have quick release feature. The links are held together by screws. Now, having screwed in links doesn't necessarily equate to having a better experience. They still require to be machined well in order for a quality feel and experience. And while sizing the bracelet to my wrist, I found that the screws rotate in and out of the links as smooth as butter, and the machining on top of the screws is perfectly scored, catching the screwdriver effortlessly. The tolerances were perfect. The screws had no stop and go resistance. They all were manufactured perfectly, giving me an effortless experience to sizing the bracelet itself. The articulating end links taper from a strap-friendly 20 millimeters down to a 16 millimeter at the clasp, which is a push deployment clasp featuring some brand naming and logo engravement. The clasp is fully milled and has a brushed finish with polished highlights, featuring an approximately 1 centimeter of tool-free adjustment. The finishing for all components of the bracelet are done very well, and there are no jingly coming from the style of bracelet. I seriously have no improvements for this bracelet. If Erebus features all of their bracelets with matching specs, I feel that they have covered everything an enthusiast would want. out of their accessory. The old style bracelet features male in links, so if you're looking to fill more of your wrist from that lug to lug, then I would recommend that you would go with that bracelet instead of the old style, which has more of a female end link and wraps around the wrist even more for smaller wrists. Taking a look now at the case back, when the watch was originally launched, the case back featured more of a polishing, but they've quickly switched gears into having more of a brushed tone. And that is the version that I received with this watch that will sidestep the scratches received by its neighboring clasp. It's engraved with specification text and a large brand logo filling the center of the caseback. It's a screw down caseback with slim design, moving away from the thicker proportions, giving the wearer a more close fit while it hugs the case. For keyless work function, we get a semi-recessed crown into the case. It slightly improves the symmetry of the watch while offering more stability to the protection of digging into your wrist. It's a signed crown, easy to grip at that 6mm proportion, and it screws into the crown tube very smoothly. Moving on to the case, it has a subtle curvature to make for a nice hug to the wrist, and in my opinion, the proportions and the dimensions are almost universal in tolerance, sitting between a smaller or larger wrist. Brushed on the top, high mirror polishing on the sides, it gives a split case illusion using a brushed seam running across it. A fixed slope bezel sits on top, equaling its neighboring side case in its mirroring polishing. Protecting the dial and its contents, we get a double dome sapphire crystal with AR coating, and the AR coating has been applied generously enough that in certain angles the crystal will disappear from visible sight. Sinking lower into the watch, for time reading, the dolphin style hands are rather impressive, finished in high polish and are well proportioned. The faceted edges of the hands give more of a 3D effect for depth. They look crisp to the eye and packed full of lume, with a second hand being loomed at the balanced end. For interior design, it starts with a sloping chapter ring at the edge, having painted white minute markers. Just below that, we have applied high polish indexes that are packed full of lume, a two-piece polished applied logo at the 12, white print branding underneath it, with white printed text at the top of the 6. Polished stainless steel trimmed date wheel aperture at the 6 o'clock that features a color matching date wheel to the dial's colorway. Now, we've already covered a lot of features that allude to the fact that this is a watch produced by another watch reviewer. A lot of attention to detail, that being probably the biggest thing that people want out of watches from other micro brands or independent brands. A color matching date wheel to the dial is something that is, in my eyes, a simple want from most people, and it's oftenly skipped out as far as including that. There's also a portion of the index removed at that 6 o'clock with some lume into it to balance out the nocturnal activation. And finally, to the dial's conclusion, we have that aventurine mineral that's always a spectacle to see. I'm no stranger to aventurine, owning the one from Venezianico, and still I remain captivated by the starry night glistening. Aventurine being that hate it or love it type of mineral. If it isn't for you, they have a plethora of options to choose from and different styles that would make for your collection. Be that as it may, whilst filming this review, I'd like to inform you, ladies and gentlemen, that my wife has proclaimed this watch to be part of her collection instead of mine. Now, this dial, combined with all the polishing mentioned before and with that J-style bracelet, pushes the agenda of a dress watch over a sports watch theme, in my opinion. And keep in mind that aventurine dials aren't the easy to work with, it having a high failure rate and being susceptible to cracking when assembling the watch, which is probably why we find the price point on this mineral being slightly higher than the rest. For nocturnal adaptation, the BGW9 Superluminova on the hands, indices, including the balance to the second hand, have been applied with luminescent material handsomely for a bright glow that will last through the night. Literally, the only thing that I see watch enthusiasts finding flaws for the timepiece is not having a brand history and still falling short of giving us a definitive brand identity with their design. That said, the brand's mission statement for this timepiece was to take inspiration from well-known higher luxury watches and combine that to give us a value watch with a lot of great quality. With the range of choices for dial options, it perhaps feels like the brand's attempt to create separation and originality while trying to secure a spot in a collector's watch box. Getting quality watches on the wrist of consumers should be the main focus for any new brand, as it serves the best form of advertising. And I myself am an example of still lusting after the purple helix for my personal collection, even after owning 50+ watches. What a wonderful time to be a collector and be exposed to a watch of such high refinement refinement and design detail. There is a clear thoughtfulness into the specifications, and it offers extreme value for the price. This watch stands as a shining example of a top-tier value for what a micro brand can offer in a technical sense, ticking many boxes for even the most enthusiastic collectors. If you happen to be in the market for a Gata watch, then you gotta seriously consider this Ascent. The Ascent has 12 options to choose from, including this Aventurine dial, and I honestly feel that the more options, the merrier. It's a smart way to test what is popular and then peel back the less desirable choices over time. $499 US is what you can expect to pay for this Aventurine dial option. It comes with a 2-year limited warranty, and they also offer value packs of 3 straps in an incredible price point and is worth checking out. Jody and Steve, thank you so much for the opportunity for allowing me to do a deep dive on this timepiece, and I look forward to seeing more from your brand in the near future. To all my viewers, thank you so much for spending your most valuable asset, which is time, and I hope to see you in the next one.